Latvia opens like a still warm piece of amber. Sea wind salts the air. Pine forests breathe softly. A wide river parts the city in two, then gathers the old roofs in its arms. Facades ripple like waves, with patterns set like winter clouds in the plaster. A metal spire rises straight up, speaking to the sky on an invisible frequency. A quiet, proud square safeguards the memories of many generations. Out west, the water doesn't fall from heights. It spreads flat, like a ribbon of silk. Sand glows the color of honey. The wind carries resin and just enough brine to taste. Boardwalks cross the marsh, lifting the crystal breath of morning. On the hillside, red brick walls assemble a medieval tale. A garden is cut into perfect grids, flowers blooming by the geometry of light. Stone steps descend through different layers of time. A fortress encloses an entire quarter, its breathing steady and low. A white dome lifts prayers into a glass-clear sky. Curiosity unlatches nameless doors. If this tremor just reached you, tap like to hold the moment. And subscribe now, so we can step onward into the secrets waiting ahead. Walking the cool mid-morning along the Daugava, Riga feels close, slow enough for your breath to match its pace. The old town wakes with coffee on the air, heels on cobblestone, shop doors cracked open in welcome. Classical facades don't chase the lens, stand still and let the light do the telling. At the central market, old airship hangars brim with color, vegetables, smoked fish, warm spices, calls mingling languages. In the park, a street performer blows bubbles. Children squeal with joy, each pop like a musical note. You choose a cafe with wide doors, hear spoons kiss cups, read a note about opening hours, flexible. Riga doesn't show off. It tends to small things until you feel you belong. Toward evening, the riverfront fills, strollers, kids on bikes, couples leaning on the rail, watching boats. Dinner is simple soup, a plate of fresh fish. The next table, chatting weekend plans. Take an evening tram, sit by the window, hear wheels whisper over joints, watch the lighted signs slide by like margin notes. Late, jazz breathes up from a cellar. Candle flames nod to the rhythm of conversation. When you pack the camera, Riga remains, asking nothing to be conquered, only that you remember how to walk slow today. The train slides into the station with a dry squeal of brakes. Daugavpils appears in plains of red brick and old rails. A bend of the Daugava teaches the city a borderland pace. Through the 19th century fortress gate, a chessboard plan greets you with thick walls and hushed courtyards. Inside the ramparts, the Mark Rothko Art Center is an abrupt cut to a new scene. Down on the streets, yellow trams skim past modest facades. Along the river, tall grass brushes your trousers, and the wind carries cold water on its breath. Soviet-era blocks throw their reflections into a small lake. Kids loop on bicycles, while adults talk in a blended tongue, long since habitual. The city doesn't hide its layers, it stacks them, and lets evening light mix the hues. No grand crescendo, only a dependable evenness. Art at the heart of a military work. Laughter inside the walls. Daugavpils is where the straight lines of the bastions lead your eyes to the river, and small details persuade your feet to stay. Kuldīga greets you with the wide, horizontal rush of the Ventus Rumba. A red brick bridge arcs over the river, leading into an old town of muted roof tiles and wooden windows, the electrified threads between houses, making evening canal sidewalks a daily habit. At the lip of the falls, locals read the Vimba jumping season, the river's own natural calendar. Culture here is steady, gentle, and resilient across the years. Weekend markets lay out honey cakes, cheeses, handmade ceramics, and the smoky signatures of kuzimi. From the central square, rows of two-story, sloped roof houses draw a low skyline that's comfortable for close shots. Carved wooden balconies and pastel shutters create the town's visual signature. The stone-paved riverside path leads to waterfall viewpoints, with bilingual panels on geomorphology and flow. In autumn, maple and birch leaves gild the rooftops, turning the brick bridge into a bold color line against deep green. Small museums and galleries sit inside old wooden houses, keeping narrow doorways and exposed beams. From the low western hill, Kuldīga layers itself, the waterfall, the brick bridge, the church spire, and the Cosima forest band reaching the horizon. The architecture elevates rustic charm, muted roof tiles, small wooden windows, and stone-paved courtyards with low fences. The religious highlight is St. Catherine's Church in Baroque style, with a slender bell tower and a bright interior. Former merchants' houses mingle with small craft workshops, preserving the town's historic facade proportions. Seen from the brick bridge toward the falls, Kuldīga appears like a balanced painting of water, brick, and greenery. As the afternoon light slants, the arches shift to amber, the falls sparkle, and the old town looks even more time-worn. A stone-paved pedestrian route passes wooden houses with plaques showing their year of construction, convenient for tracing architectural eras. On windless nights, the shadow of the red brick arches prints cleanly on the river, creating a symmetrical, camera-friendly frame. Sigulda shifts pace the moment the Gauja Valley opens beneath your feet. Rolling terrain, cliffside forest, and a looping river set the stage for a day that's part motion, part mindfulness. Morning begins with a cable car gliding across the valley, your first sweeping panorama. Below, walking trails, bike paths, and stone stairways braid toward lookouts. Torreda Castle anchors time, telling the legend of the Rose of Torreda through tidy exhibits and an airy courtyard. Across the valley, Sigulda Castle links Livonian knight history with modern conservation in practice. Quieter Kremulda invites you into gardens and small workshops, herbs, fruit wines, and everyday craft on show. Autumn turns the valley into a color chart, drawing sketches, photographers, and guided leaf-peeping walks. The bobsleigh track offers guided rides, speed with safety. Treetop adventure parks add zip lines over pine canopy for friends and families. Late light is perfect for a drone pass along forest rims and watchtowers. At sunset, a thin mist lifts from the valley floor, softening red brick and pitched roofs. Sigulda never overcomplicates the visit. It offers a few clear choices, set wide in nature, and lets history and culture speak in an even, steady breath. Jūrmala begins with the scent of pine resin and the steady hush of waves. A long, fine beach, shallow water warming into summer, perfect for families and those close-up shots of feet skimming the shore. Threading the pines, a wooden boardwalk runs parallel to the sea. Even an unhurried bike ride is enough to feel the day slip by. Zintari Concert Hall posts a summer program. Sit outdoors and hear the wind woven into applause. The small market near the station sells smoked fish, pastries, berries, and bouquets, everything for a simple picnic. Toward evening, the beach fills with volleyball, yoga, and children building sandcastles. If you prefer quiet, walk a few hundred meters farther until only wind and sea remain. When it's cool, go barefoot by the waterline and roll a long, steady shot to match your breathing. If you've still got energy, continue to a quieter stretch and capture a few frames of green waves in moonlight. Jūrmala doesn't ask for a packed itinerary. Tomorrow, repeat the small rituals: morning coffee, a beach walk, a spa hour, a gentle concert. The town will set your tempo, slow enough to unwind, lively enough to make you want to return. The story of Cēsis begins with the bells of St. John's Church ringing across a clear morning. This small town introduces itself with crisp history, tidy routes, and friendly signage. The old town's cobblestones are neatly laid. Pale facades and early opening cafes look straight onto the park. Cēsis Castle sits at the center of the tale. On one side, the stone fortress of the Livonian Knights. On the other, a museum arranged with modern clarity. Daytime tours follow a fixed route, explaining arrow slits, watchtowers, and layers of restoration in detail. At night, there's a candle evening inside the castle. Low light sets a slower viewing rhythm, perfect for close shots of stone and the marks of time. Castle Park links the fortress to the lake with a gentle slope. Photo stops come with benches and short storyboards. The weekend market is compact. Dark rye bread, cheeses, forest honey, plus a few stalls of earthy glazed ceramics. Craft studios teach traditional pattern printing, wax sealing, and cord braiding in local motifs. For families, the History Zone lets children try light armor and learn crossbow basics under safe supervision. A suburban walking route leads to Riksdu Hill, a lookout over rooftops and bell towers, safe airspace for a drone shot. In autumn, the town's palette is easy to film. Yellow leaves against grey stone walls, mirrored in a still lake. In winter, the square turns into a small Christmas market, choirs singing, warm lights, and hot cocoa in paper cups. Cēsis moves at a pace that's moderate but certain, ideal for linear storytelling with little need for ornate narration. Finish on the steps above the lake, history at your back, music at your side, and a small town rich enough to remember. In Lagatni, the story rises straight out of sandstone. It begins inside the soft cliff walls, where people carved cool cellars to keep potatoes, beer, and jars of bright jam all year. This town grew up with a 19th century paper mill, rows of pale wooden workers' houses, low fences, and pocket gardens continue the tale of everyday life. The paper town, walking route, threads past dormitories, a school, a tiny cinema, and the hand-pulled ferry across the Gauja. In the woods lies the Lagatne Nature Trails. It's a responsible meeting with nature. Keep quiet, keep space, and follow a guide in high season. At the town's edge, another layer of history waits. Beneath a rehabilitation center sits a Soviet-era bunker, 9 meters deep, operated like a miniature government. Lagatne tells its story through clear, hands-on activity. Weekends bring a small market of forest honey, rye bread, fruit preserves, and turned wooden wares. Workshops open for handmade paper, traditional block prints, and wax-sealed postcards. On European Heritage Day, rarely opened sandstone cellars welcome visitors, with conservation guidance included. In warm months, family-friendly kayaking follows the river's gentle bends. A bowl of forest mushroom soup, a slice of smoked fish, honey cake, and you're set for a long morning. And Lagatne at the ferry. You leave feeling you've visited a place that files its memories neatly, so newcomers can understand quickly and want to return. Step out of the station, and the salty wind pulls you straight to the Liepāja Sea. This city lives by sound, and sound is everywhere through the day. Behind the beach lie low pine woods, soft trails underfoot, the scent of resin and birdsong at daybreak. Gulls skim the water's surface. Flocks of terns land on the rock jetty, then lift off again to the rhythm of the waves. Lake Liepāja opens into tall reeds and marsh flats that shelter water birds. At dawn, swans, wild ducks, and grey herons take turns crossing the shallow channels. Observation towers along the shore give a high angle, easy to catch cormorants, sunning on wooden posts. Karasta keeps a rugged tone, a long concrete breakwater, waves bursting white, birds picking food from the rock crevices. A cycling group glides along the boardwalk, bells chiming softly in greeting. When the wind rises, kites and kiteboards dot a few bright strokes across the sky. Farther south, Papa Nature Park offers semi-wild scenes. Conic horses, recreated aurochs, deer moving in lines. The lookout over Lake Pape receives arrowheads of migrating geese in season. End Liepāja on a dune, the sea and flight paths of birds ahead, the scent of pines and the lagoon behind. Someone stops to take off their headphones, listening to the waves one last time before leaving the shore. Aglona opens with steady bells and a lake as flat as glass. The road into town slips through low pine stands. The warm scent of resin and the clean air slow your breathing on their own. At the end of that road, the basilica lifts twin white spires above a broad forecourt, always tidy, always hushed, as if holding space for crowds on high feast days. Aglona tells its story with clear, linear steps. By day, frame the church facade first, then glide slowly across details, reliefs, tall windows, stone steps worn smooth. Beside it, a path sinks toward the lake, where the wind carries cool spray and soft conversation. Human culture shows itself most vividly in the liturgical season. August 15th, Feast of the Assumption, is the pilgrimage peak. Outdoor mass, candlelight processions, choral singing, and prayers through the night. All year, small groups finger the rosary along the way of the rosary, pausing at each station with simple guide plaques. Aglona is not solely ritual. Slip in a long shot from the church steps to the water's edge, letting wind and bells blend themselves. The sunrise on Lake Jazinx is dewy, the water surface is mirror flat, and pine forests and reeds are shadowed in a blue band. After dusk, mist lifts off the lake and climbs the stone stairs. Aglona closes the day with just enough peace, enough to draw people back again tomorrow. Begin where the grass is still wet with dew and two ribbons of water run side by side. Musa and Memele draw close, becoming the Lielupe just as the camera lifts from the bank. Auska emerges like a duet. Below, the current. Above, ramparts etched sharp in the early sun. No need to chase a climax. Let the frame breathe for a few beats. First layer, the medieval fortress. Thick walls, arrow slits, watchtowers, each detail posing the question of defense at a river confluence. Narrow walkways slow your steps. Footfalls snap softly between stone and timber. Say little, lay a hand on the worn stair, and let the space do the talking. Through a threshold, the second layer changes tone to Renaissance. Rundale Palace Museum is an elegant Baroque palace with spacious, well-balanced proportions. The French-style garden is neatly trimmed, with blooms changing color through the seasons. On both sides are bosquets trimmed into green rooms, interspersed with fountains and stone statues to create an eye stop. Gravel paths run along the tree alleys, with rose beds, an orangery, and broad lawns opening wider views beyond. On weekends, the local market sets out honey, rye bread, fresh cheese, and dark glazed pottery, enough for a picnic watching boats. Keep the experiences tight and to the point. Climb the tower to frame where two rivers meet when the sun slants low. At sunset, brick turns amber and flag shadows stretch like lines of annotation. The music thins. The river keeps the backbeat. In Bauska, exactly where two currents join. One simple, well-lit shot where past and present fold together like two banks of the same stream. You may have watched dozens of frames, but what remains isn't the place names. It's your breath slowing beside the water. It's the wind threading through the pines. It's the warmth when someone nods hello to you on a strange street. If a moment just touched you, hold on to it a little longer. Fold up the checklist and let memory choose its own details. The smell of fresh bread, a distant bell, a stripe of sunlight on brick. Those small things will stay with you longer than any beautiful photo. When the screen closes, your journey truly begins. Give yourself an empty afternoon, comfortable shoes, and curiosity big enough to go slow. All you need to bring is an open heart. If you're ready to turn inspiration into steps, write the rest of your story yourself. The roads are still there, waiting for you to arrive and name the feeling in your own way.